Now things are getting real. What was that? I know, pretty fancy, hey? We are moving up in the world here with our special effects. This channel is becoming big time now. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Neil with Real Terrain Hobbies. If you're new, welcome to the channel. If you've been around for a while now, thanks again for coming back. You guys rock, you're awesome. Just a quick update on the house. I'm making lots of progress on that. I'm just going to make this very brief here though. So basically I've been kind of away for the past 4 weeks now, and that was never the plan. The plan was actually though to take some time off of some videos and specifically focus on building the house and doing all that. But the plan was never 4 weeks, so I went way overboard with that. Sorry guys. It is summer too, and things are really busy with me now. I got 2 boys and a wife, and they like to camp and do all sorts of crazy fun stuff for the summer. I've got lots of work out in the back, some landscaping and things like that. That's been keeping me busy too, but still, I should be able to find some time for you guys. So sorry, 4 weeks was way too much. I need to figure something out to get that going on. So anyway, why are we here? Well, this is why right here. So this is 4Ground's Warden's Watchtower, and this is the second feature building that they have for the Fabled Realms universe, and this is for the city of Mordenburg. It is every bit just as epic as the Stoic Arms Inn, which I've already done a review on, and that is this guy right behind me over here. And if you want to take a look at that, it's up here. It was an earlier video, so excuse my lack of enthusiasm. Yeah, that's the word. It was not too bad, but there's some really nice shots in there. I get really up and close, and we go over each level of the building, and it's an awesome build. So this time we're going to be looking at the Warden's Watchtower, and the Fabled Realms kind of universe. They're actually developing a tabletop game. It's a skirmish game. And they use all of their buildings, their whole series of buildings for it, and I'm looking forward to that. I think it's still in development right now. I know they had a Kickstarter for it, but anyway, that's what this belongs to, and you can use it for all of Fabled Realm stuff. You can use it for any type of gaming. I use these with my boys quite a bit, and we're actually reading The Hobbit right now. And I'm planning on using this as kind of a lake town scene with smog. This is kind of a small smog, but anyway, they love it. My boys love it. I love it. And yeah, so why do I like foreground buildings? I'm going to give you 4 main reasons why I like. So it's going to be the build quality, practicality, design, and finally the project build. And what I mean by that is the overall building, the actual building of the model itself. A quick note on price. This guy is not cheap, just like the Stoic Arms Inn. It comes out with a hefty price tag. This is, I think, selling right now on the 4Ground website for £128. And for me, I live in Canada. It came out to about 250 Canadian shipped, all said and done. It's worth every penny, but it's not cheap. But you'll see why that it is definitely worth it, and I highly recommend getting it. The whole reason why I got this, I first had the Stoic Arms, I had many of the other buildings as well, and I've been collecting them over the years, and I was really happy and excited to get this. So anyway, moving on, let's start with the first thing, which is build quality. And now these things are incredibly solid. The quality is top notch. It's laser cut particle board, MDF kind of panels, and they are incredibly durable. As you'll see, we're going to be doing a close-up of everything, all the levels, but everything is double paneled. What I mean by that is there are two pieces glued together, and everything is interlocked when you're building these. They're very strong, very sturdy, and the quality is top notch. You can they're beefy. There's a lot of weight to them, and yeah, you're not buying something that's cheap and flimsy by any means. And yeah, so build quality, number one. Number two is our practicality for gaming. The whole idea behind these is that you can take each level off here one by one, and the interiors are incredibly detailed and they're all playable. So you can take them all apart, and swinging doors, everything. You can use them for role-playing games, skirmish games, many different things, and they are highly practical when it actually comes to gaming. These guys are the whole where I got my idea for my house, for my medieval inn tavern build with the different layers. Came right out of 4Ground. I don't know if these guys are the guys that first came up with this whole multiple level thing, but they're the first people that our first company I've seen use that model, and I think it's incredible. It's amazing for gaming. Number three, design, and this to me is the most important. I don't know why. I'm just thinking about this now. Why I put it as number three? It should probably be number one on my list. But these things look amazing. They're incredible. If you really wanted to, you could even add mini weathering effects. I haven't done any weathering on mine as of yet. I may get to that at some point, and you can get shingles for the roof and everything, but you're just looking at it, the whole design. I'll put these stairs over here. Like the wattle and daub, which is the filler in between all of these timber pieces, is done phenomenally. Like the timber structure is all very nicely artistically done. There are shackles on here, as you'll see in the close-ups again. The brick showing, the cracks, you know, interior as well, highly detailed interiors. They have posters, these tiny little posters. It's not, I didn't put any on this building, but I had them on the Stoic Arms in. Highly detailed, adds so much character and flavor to the overall buildings. And I think I mentioned this, but the swinging doors, yep, that just tops them off. You can't, it just adds so much having those doors. And again, why I decided to put some swinging doors on my buildings as well. So that is it for design, and they speak for themselves, especially this guy. We'll get into it, but it is phenomenally designed and is a very, very cool build. And finally, the whole number four, why I like 4Ground buildings is building them. I love building them, and they're very satisfying, super fun to build, and very enjoyable. Basically, seeing this, it comes when you buy them, they come in a box or a bag for the smaller houses, and a stack of flat sheets of wood, and you pop them out. And seeing them come from like a 2D form and being built up into 3D is really fun, really satisfying, especially when you first get your first level, your first part of the structure up. You got your walls up, really satisfying, and then you start to put on, you know, your panels on the sides, and it all just comes together. And yeah, it's it's a very satisfying thing, especially each level that you get is like, it's like a victory for each level as you have it completed. So I love building them. Very awesome. You do run into some difficulties here and there. A couple of my first doors that I did, you got to make sure you know exactly what you're going to be doing when you do them before you tackle one. Look over the instructions carefully and see exactly what they mean. Some of mine are a couple of doors on my stoic arms in, they're a little stiff. The first ones I've done, I think it was 1 or 2. They're a little stiff, they're not as, but then I figured it out and they all swing just perfectly. You just tap them and they fly open. And so that was a little difficult. You need to use lots of paper clips, or not paper clips, clothespins. I use the paper clamps. I recommend using those for some parts, especially gluing those wall pieces together. It keeps it a nice tight fit. One thing maybe you might find is putting all these little panels in being a little tedious, but it's worth it to me. Yeah, when you get that, it finishes off the building, and when you see your progress being made on even on those little panels, one at a time, sticking them on, dabbing some glue on, and then you get a level done, you feel very satisfied. There we are with 4Ground's Warden's Watchtower. Now let's go ahead and jump on in and take a closer look at this. So what we have here is the Tower of the Master of the Watch, to quote Ben from 4Ground. And this guy, the Master of the Watch, sits on his perch with his watch and keeps an eye on the city of Mordenburg, making sure everyone is happily obeying the law and not getting themselves into any sort of trouble. So if you, being a citizen, are not obeying the law and you decide to cause some sort of mischief and get caught, well, I'm afraid things are not so good for you. And here is why. Let's take a look at this guy here and let's do a little spin around here and see what's going on the other side. What we've got over here is something on the unpleasant side of things, to say the least. So if you're caught, your day is about to get really bad. And what you've got here is suspended above the road. And this is actually apparently something very real and actually done in the Middle Ages. But if you take a closer look, what they've got here is an outhouse suspended above the road. And then you have some shackles underneath. So if you were to get caught, whatever it is you're doing, breaking the law, stealing, you'll get locked up here and you are going to have one very bad day or very bad week, depending. Having said that, let's take a look at this guy here. We'll take the top off, and here is level 1. And this guy, as you can see, we've got the jail, and taking a closer look at that, you've got a trap door to throw someone in who's been up to no good and being kind of extra difficult. Throw them in there, lock them up, and forget about them. And you got more shackles on the wall. The detail, again, for any kind of foreground building, the detail on these guys are quite impressive, both outside and inside. And as is typical with all foreground buildings, you've got these swinging doors and they swing nice and freely. And yes, very high detail on this guy. So that is level 1. Next, you got level 2. And this is kind of known as the duty ready room, I guess. And this is where your watchmen for the night come, and you can come up the stairs here from below. You have your latrine right over here. You can see what's going on inside. And actually, let's even zoom right on in to that guy. So you can take the roof right off. And there's the bottom. So that is that guy. Moving up to level 3, we now have the main entry into the Watchtower, and that would be these guys right here. And you of course also have the entry from the inside, but the quick entry from the outer side, and I'm guessing this is for your watchmen on guard from this point higher, and down below perhaps with the cells and everything, that might be the warden's quarters himself. But you have a few rooms here, and at this point, actually, as you can see right there and right there, we are now getting into the first section of the battlements to protect the tower. And after that, we move on to level 4. And so now we have the main battlement where your archers are perched to protect the tower from any incoming invasions. And as you can see, we've got a little bit of a scene set up here with a dragon and some guys here. And actually my plan is with this, as I mentioned, my boys and I like to play with these guys quite a bit. And we're actually reading I'm reading to them The Hobbit. And so this is kind of a good little lake town setup to have a battle with Smog all said and done. So that is what we've got planned on there. So from here on, we have the main kind of tower climbing up to the top now. And so we've got some smaller room sections here, and from then on you have ladders taking you up the tower to the top. And here we have another level with another ladder. One more level. And so these remaining rooms, as you make your way to the top of the tower, house all sorts of supplies. We could have food, weapons, ammunition, everything you need for the watchmen that are on guard at the very top as we move up. And finally, we have the final battlement, and for your watchmen looking over your city. And the great thing about this guy too, right at the top, is your roof is actually detachable, so you can see your minis in whatever game you're playing and actually have access to them and do whatever you need to do for that. So here we are. That is the complete Watchtower, and it is quite a foreboding building, and it is just fantastic. I am very happy, very pleased with it, and it was, as usual, as all 4Ground buildings, if you have not built or gotten any, even just the smaller houses, they're a huge joy to build. I love building them. Very satisfying. You feel like you've accomplished a lot once you have gotten the whole project done. Even each level is a victory in and of itself. So there we are, the 4Ground Warden's Watchtower.